Welcome back, YouTubers, to another Q&A with us, the British Fist.
Go, Jim.
Mr. Parkin here, this guy sitting next to me, bubbling with enjoyment by bobbling his head around. It's Terminator Nj.
What's up?
Subscribe above, like this video, comment any thoughts you have on the questions we've answered down in the comment section below.
And make sure you contact us in the links in the description box below.
Yes, many different options for you to keep asking us questions. You've got facebook.com/British Fist, YouTube inbox, comment section below, or you can do it over Twitter with hashtag British Fist QA, I believe. So, yeah, so that's how you can send us in questions. We've had a lot of them. We've been overwhelmed by questions lately, haven't we?
We have indeed. Each time we upload a Q&A, we have more coming in. We have some through our Facebook, so keep them coming and we'll keep on going.
Yeah, we'll keep trying to answer the questions as well as possible. And we've also just been informed by the British Fist executives that you can you can in fact, I don't know what's going on with this, but you can in fact send questions in for Terminator Nj to answer. That should be interesting, I guess.
Executives, we're the head. All you have is that Terminator Nj, and he's been getting involved more than he has been. He's kind of hinted that he would be a part of this video if he gets enough questions from you guys, so keep them coming in, please.
Pretty much, and so in about 3 weeks' time when we do the next set of Q&A questions, I guess Terminator Nj will be scheduled to be there. Go follow him on Twitter and like his Facebook page as well. Like I said, I don't know who's already sanctioned these, but Terminator Nj has a Twitter. It's quite interesting to follow. I've been really interested to see what he's been saying lately, especially with regards to TNA and WWE and the Aces and Eights stuff.
He's done quite a bit, and there's going to be a lot more to come, especially when he's trying to take over the social media network as we know it.
Yes, indeed. So in this Q&A, we're going to be focusing on SummerSlam and more recent news as we go. This is the Go Home Show week to SummerSlam, so we're going to be answering your SummerSlam questions. Keep sending your questions in to us, but any SummerSlam questions now that you send in will probably be too late for us to answer, so there you go. The In-Ring Show asked us a good question to start off this sort of SummerSlam-based Q&A. How would you book SummerSlam if given the chance? We've got a couple of matches here which we'll go through. I think we'd stick with the main event, Triple H versus Lesnar. I think that would be the most logical main event, as they've pretty much built it now throughout since Extreme Rules now, haven't they?
And I think with this particular one, it's been done in a way that makes you want a match, even though Lesnar's half. He's not, because of a stupid contract that WWE gave him, he's not been around to book this. But it's been a match that's been teased in the past, we never got it, and now we're actually getting it. It's at a big pay-per-view, so no changes there.
Yeah, to be honest with you, if I was going to book this, I'd have Brock Lesnar do what he does best, that's kick ass. I mean, I'd definitely allow Lesnar to go over in the sense that, you know, in the build-up, you'd have him dominate Triple H as if Triple H can't win. So when it does come to the pay-per-view, people want Triple H to win. Right now, I don't want Triple H to win. I just want Brock Lesnar to win.
Yes, we want the guy who doesn't turn up to many shows, the guy who couldn't beat Cena even though he bloodied him to a pulp. Yeah, Lesnar's doing great. Yeah, welcome back, Lesnar.
And Triple H isn't at many other shows either, I'm just saying.
But
I'd have Lesnar go over in this match, though.
Yeah.
But I'd just book Lesnar to be an ass-kicking machine. I think that's the most logical way of booking it, and they're not doing it right now, which is stupid. No. Exactly. The next, I'll tell you what, you go through what you think the World Heavyweight Championship and the WWE Championship match will be, because we have different opinions on this. So you go first, then I'll insert my opinions.
Even though Del Rio's booking has been getting better because maybe it's a contract thing, he's not happy with stuff, but I don't think it's a match we want to see repeated. So the other way we're doing, I would personally do, I'm for and against this, is to have Orton putting over Sheamus at SummerSlam. Yes, I would have liked Barrett back in time, but sadly that didn't happen. So I would have Orton put over Sheamus at SummerSlam, but I don't think Orton should be in the top pitch, especially if he needs some kind of build back up, some kind of punishment for what he's done. But it's better than Del Rio. It
would be a big match. I mean, you've got the two top babyfaces on SmackDown. If you want my opinion on the World Heavyweight Championship, I would have Sheamus go up against Big Show. Personally, because at the moment Big Show is being booked pretty damn well so far as kind of like a top heel for the company. I also feel Sheamus needs a more legit challenger in the sense that Big Show is 450 pounds. He's going to get booked a lot better. He's actually going to make Sheamus look vulnerable and look like a babyface. So in that sense, I think Sheamus versus Big Show would have been a good World Heavyweight Championship match, and plus it would have allowed me to have my match for the WWE Championship, which would have been Punk versus Cena, as well as take Orton out of that championship picture and have maybe Rhodes versus Orton in some kind of feud. That's personally how I would have done it. I know you were going for Punk, Cena, Big Show. Yeah, that's how I would have done it.
If we go to the WWE Championship, I don't think that it should be Punk and Cena for the second year going, just so they can probably have either Cena win or Punk win yet again. With this way, if we keep Big Show in this match, he's the one who's going to get pinned, just so Cena and Punk can go on and continue their feud without having Punk either win at SummerSlam and end the feud, or have Cena win and people complain.
But which is a bigger match? Punk versus Cena or Punk Cena Big Show? The bigger match should be at the bigger pay-per-view, in my opinion, which is why I'd do the singles match and have Big Show in a feud with Sheamus. That's just what I ask, just what I think.
I just don't think that we should have them two, again, the same match. The only difference is
Punk's heel.
Yeah, the only difference is Punk's heel. So I think the fact they got Big Show in there, and Big Show's going to, either way, be the ones to eat the pin and be the dominant one, so the match doesn't look identical to last year. I think this match is perfectly fine.
I think a Jericho versus Ziggler match is a match we both agree with this, in the sense that Ziggler is the up-and-coming young guy. Jericho will probably make him look good in the match. Making a guy like Ziggler look very good as the Money in the Bank guy and making him a feature of the pay-per-view. Well, we both agree for this match, don't we?
With this one in particular, Ziggler's had big wrestlers in the past, but he's never actually got the overall win to give him the overall big win over a big guy. Yeah. And with this one at SummerSlam, for different reasons, which we'll probably get to in our predictions video, I think this match would definitely be a good one for Ziggler. Two great workers in the ring, and for Jericho to do the right thing by making Ziggler look better than he already does.
Ziggler needs big wins at pay-per-views. He needs defining moments if he's going to be a future worldwide champion with that Money in the Bank match, and this could provide that. So I'm perfectly happy with the way this match has gone. I'd definitely keep this. One match which I would have done, and we both would have done at SummerSlam, Christian versus Miz for the IC Championship. I know Miz won the title from Christian on the 1000th Raw. I wouldn't have had them have that rematch on free TV. I would have built this to a pay-per-view because they had some very fucking good chemistry on that SmackDown match. And it was a pay-per-view worthy match. Why not have it at SummerSlam?
And the true with this one, Miz has just recently returned, so if he can continue having a good build between his return and SummerSlam, have his match against Christian again and beat him again probably at SummerSlam, it would definitely give us a big match for yet Christian, the ex-Intercontinental Champion, and Miz, the future continuation IC Champion.
I think another logical match which you would have done was Rey versus Del Rio, simply because, well, it makes sense. And also, Del Rio is not being booked well enough to be a legit World Heavyweight Championship contender. So this match makes sense. It would have been a nice little mid-card match on the card.
And that's the thing, they teased this when Rey Mysterio returned. And they didn't follow up on it. It was just like, why you brought back Rey? You've got no ideas for him. And Del Rio could have been out of the title picture because they had that number one contendership. I don't think either Rey or Del Rio should have won. So they could have had a match at SummerSlam and gave us another match on the card.
Yeah, and I think another match you would do is the US Championship, get it off Santino, put it on Damian Sandow. He's by far, he's a great talent on the roster right now. He's probably the best one to take the US title from Santino. We'd book this probably most likely on the card, maybe on the pre-show, who really knows, but I'd have Sandow win the US Championship from Santino.
With this one, I really think that Sandow, the fact that he's been there every week, he's been getting involved in many strong ways, he needs a mid-card feud, he needs a championship to show that he's a champion before going up towards the main event, if he's going to make it there. And Santino, as much as I enjoy his comedy in that, he's not doing well with the US Championship, so why not move it over to Sandow, who I think would do great with it, which would be a lot better than Cesaro, in my opinion, at this moment in time.
And we also have tag team extravaganza lined up for you guys. You know, if you guys like tag team wrestling, which I know a lot of you guys do, we'd have a four-way ladder match for the tag team championship. Fuck it. Truth and Kofi versus Primetime Players versus Epico and Primo versus the Usos.
Minus Abraham Washington.
And minus Abraham Washington, indeed. Yes, that is a very unfortunate thing, which we'll address at some point. But yeah, a four-way ladder match at SummerSlam for the Tag Team Championships, it would be a good match.
Well, we always say that when it comes to like WrestleMania SummerSlam, a match for the tag should be on the line. Yes, we have Night of Champions where it's going to be on the line, but for SummerSlam, one of the big pay-per-views, giving hopefully a new Tag Team Champion the overall win, very nicely done, it would be good for them.
And Daniel Bryan versus Kane, maybe with some Charlie Sheen involvement.
I think the way they've been building Kane up to this, especially the psychotic ways, anger problems in Kane himself, they combine this for Daniel Bryan. I think it's nicely done. Then have Sheen either screw the match or cut a promo at the end. Would definitely give us that little segment in comedy there.
Ryback versus Mahal would be another little filler match. Might as well have that be the payoff of the feud.
It's been there the whole week. It's been there the whole time, building up over week after week. So why not have it? It's definitely so that will give them both a feud.
We booked a lot of matches here, but you know, it's our card. So.
If I had to build one more in, yes, we kind of put them into another match now. They were going to do Sandown Brodus Clay, so I think Brodus Clay. I'll do this just for the speciality of SummerSlam. Bring back Rikishi for SummerSlam.
Exactly. Bring back Rikishi and do a dance off with Brodus Clay. That's our card. We spent 10 minutes on it. Let's move on to the next question. Jericho Rocker 1234. Mr. Parkin, just me. What are your favourite SummerSlam matches of all time? Well, I think it's a little bit unfair that I only answer that because I know NJ will have some good insight as well. So I think, to be honest, Jericho Rocker, you won't mind if we both answer this question. Some of your favourite SummerSlam matches, NJ?
SummerSlam, Brock Lesnar versus The Rock.
From the same year, Triple H versus HBK in an unsanctioned street fight match. That was a very good match. 1998, where you had Rock versus Triple H in that ladder match, was a very, very good match. What about SummerSlam 92, Bret Hart versus the British Bulldog in that main event?
Can't complain about Bret Hart. And the other thing is, CM Punk beating John Cena.
Not as good as Money in the Bank, but it's still a decent match. Any other examples you can think of? Hell in a Cell 2008, Undertaker versus Edge. Great match that was.
I'd say they're good ones that happened recently and some previous old ones. So they're good ones.
Indeed. What about, what was the match I'm thinking of here? SummerSlam 2005, Hogan versus HBK. A backstage politic nightmare in the main event. What probably should have been at WrestleMania, but was at SummerSlam instead.
It should have been. It definitely screamed out main event. It screamed out great match to be remembered. So yes.
Next question. ESF Andy 011. I personally believe that Triple H should beat Lesnar at SummerSlam, barely though, so that the younger talent could seem like as a legit force against Brock and thus go over. What do you guys think? You?
Well, I'm looking at this. I'm gonna be fair. As much I would like to see Triple H beat down the person he's not faced before and give him the 1, 2, 3 to show him who's boss. And plus, there's the horrible booking that Lesnar's been getting, not been turning up to Raws, SmackDowns, doing anything. So his contract to bring into the WWE has been dreadful, awful. But we've seen him put on a great match against John Cena, but he lost. If the same thing happens at SummerSlam, it's not really progressing him towards WrestleMania, where he's hoping to give us the big bad match. So as much as I support Triple H, I think maybe he should put horrible booking Lesnar to rest until WrestleMania. I think Lesnar should get the win and then progress his monster booking, hopefully, towards WrestleMania.
If you want Brock Lesnar to be more of a draw at WrestleMania, you cannot have him lose to Triple H. I mean, what would be more better for long term? Having Triple H win to essentially mean nothing, as he can't really do too much for the company right now other than sporadic appearances, or would you rather have Brock Lesnar go over so he can maybe face The Undertaker and be a legit contender for the streak, even though he has been booked terribly?
And at the same time, make not many appearances between SummerSlam and WrestleMania, so it's the same situation, but Lesnar needs to win it.
They're probably saving most of his contracts for Royal Rumble to WrestleMania, so they can build him for the big money-making event, which is going to be WrestleMania, definitely. So that's probably why they're doing that. We also got the same question from two people, Jensen 2027 and Gore 492. We got the same question about Kevin Nash. What do you think about Kevin Nash's comments on the wrestling business dying when Guerrero was the WWE champion and Benoit was the World Heavyweight champion?
Well, straight away I'll say this. The fact that we had Kevin Nash come into the WWE for a short period of time, the WWE turn around and say, well, we don't need you anymore, clear off, go back doing nothing. I think now he's probably sad by that. He's just trying to get attention to make it seem like the big thing that he used to be somewhere down the line. And he's just done this to try and get some attention back onto him. That's
pretty much what he's done. He's working us so he can get some attention on him. I think the statement he made, I can see why maybe he thinks that smaller guys can't be draws, but what he said, the statement that he made, was fucking ridiculous. Saying that guys like Guerrero and Benoit as heavyweight champions ruin the business. I'm sorry, but there are many other instances of him ruining the business. Plus, wasn't Shawn Michaels his fellow member of the Clique, and he was a small guy like Benoit and Guerrero?
That's true. And the other thing that we keep saying to you fans is that when you progress from wrestlers, Eddie Guerrero and Benoit did have a great progression in their career, so for them to get their championship win was good. So I don't know why Kevin Nash is complaining, and I bet Kevin Nash had to build his weight before he got somewhere. So for that, I just say screw that. Chris Benoit and Eddie Guerrero, great champion, great WrestleMania match, as we all know. There we go.
I think Kevin Nash really does forget that in 1995 he was the lowest drawing champion of some time. Exactly. Let's move on. Mr. Just Renato. What are your thoughts about Cody Rhodes not having a SummerSlam match? And he hasn't been lately on WWE shows that say superstars. Seems like maybe Cody Rhodes, because he had all that build, and from last year's WrestleMania Royal Rumble onwards, and they built him up quite well. It seems a little bit odd that he's not involved at SummerSlam, despite the fact that he has been consistently involved on TV in prominent spots. He's also been consistently involved in feuds. So it kind of says to me that maybe there's some backstage stuff that's stopping him from maybe appearing on SummerSlam.
Sadly, I think they're really keeping this hidden because Cody Rhodes is a future star for the WWE. They're trying to keep things hidden just so it doesn't damage his reputation. But I still think there's something behind this, because there's no way he would have lost the IC belt after making it so important, then go into nothing. So I definitely think there's something there holding him back.
Yeah, it's backstage stuff. It really has to be, because there's no reason why they shouldn't have continued this push logically. Mr. Vad Ocioso asked, thoughts about the rumours WWE have interest in making Jinder Mahal a main event heel? Your thoughts, quickly?
Mid-card heel, top mid-card heel, be a great person. Yes, we've already got The Miz there, and we're going to have some others there, but I still think his booking could become... Yes, he's had a bit of confrontation with Orton, blah, but forget all that. I just see him as a top heel for the mid-card.
In my opinion, I can see why they would do it, because, let's face it, WWE needs to be more of a worldwide brand, and if they push Jinder Mahal as a top heel, the anti-American gimmick generally gets a lot of heel heat, and if they want to appeal to people in Asia or India, then pushing him as a top heel could be a good way of doing business, but I think it's more along the lines of, it's not really going to be the packaging, it's whether or not the performer in Jinder Mahal can really be that top heel, and I'm not really sure he can.
Because it's been a while. When he first came in, maybe you could see a possible future top heel, but then his booking went incredibly bad, so I think instead of rushing him to become a top heel, they need good build, and as a top heel mid-card, maybe a top heel mid-card champion, then go up to the main event, could work, but just not anytime soon.
It's another example of WWE pulling out the rug from a young guy and then all of a sudden expecting a lot from it, which just really isn't realistic. Who the hell is going to buy Jinder Mahal as a top heel when he's been booked the way he is, even though he's in a feud with Ryback right now?
I want to buy his cloak.
You want to buy his cloak? It is a nice cloak, I'll say that. I'd love to buy his turban. That would be a pretty good look. Fatal MRV. What do you think of the idea of the NXT Championship? Now, NJ, you don't watch too much NXT, so what do you think about a show like NXT, which is essentially for the younger guys getting a championship?
Well, I'm all for NXT owning a championship, because that is still a show on its own, building up younger stars towards the WWE. So for them to crown their top champion, their other champions, it's definitely showing, but you're an important guy, we feel there's something in you. So when you go into the WWE, you'd have a resume that's proving that you've done this, done that, done this. You're ready to go to a certain place within WWE. So I'm all for it.
I am also in agreement. I've said many times in my NXT reviews on my channel that an NXT Championship is a very good idea. It makes NXT feel like its own show and not just like a lower down version of WWE TV programs. So I'm all for the NXT Championship. I mean, it could be something really good and give NXT a real unique feel, especially the look of the championship. It looks like pure gold, brother. I'll say that. Mr. NRS85, moving off some SummerSlam related questions now, onto some more general questions. Do you think that Evan Bourne joining TNA would be a good or bad move for one or both parties? I'd personally like to see Evan versus AJ or versus Aries match. Maybe a freeway. What match? What about you?
Evan Bourne moving from WWE to TNA. Because WWE may be a bit like, right, you've done some bad stuff with us. Please just go so you don't do it again with us. TNA are good at taking WWE wrestlers. I'm not bashing, but they do it quite a lot. So they give him a trial run. He'd probably go through gut check or just something along those lines. Could be a chance build to the X Division. So I'll say yes if he works out through the build-up towards the show. Evan
Bourne would be an X Division guy and nothing more, in my opinion. He would be decent in the X Division, but that is really it. We'll answer one more question before we end this Q&A. Lee Blade 09. Do you think the WWE are making the World Heavyweight Championship less prestigious? Well, it's opened the card on WrestleMania. It's not been... I mean, on SmackDown right now, it's not really had like a great... Sheamus hasn't really had a great title reign, let's put it that way. As much as I like Sheamus and the fact that he's having a longish title run, the World Heavyweight Championship has seemed to have lost a little bit of prestige purely because it's on the B show and because it's opened a lot of pay-per-views, isn't it?
Yes, we've seen great champions before. Previously it was Triple H's belt, then Edge came and took hold of it, made it so important. Now it's going to like Daniel Bryan, then Sheamus, and I'm not thinking it's living up to what it used to be. So in a way, I do agree the world title is going down a big slope, but I think if they do it correctly, it could get passed on to someone who deserves it more in this moment in time and treat it better than Sheamus.
Well, back in the NWA, WCW days, you had guys like Ric Flair, Hollywood Hulk Hogan, Sting, holding the belt, big names in the business. You go to like Triple H, HBK, more big names in the business, and then you put it on SmackDown, and you've recently had like, what, Jack Swagger, Rey Mysterio, you even had Dolph Ziggler win it. So it's losing a lot of prestige, in my opinion, like Christian's 2-day title reign, Orton's shitty reign that he had. The only good thing lately about the World Heavyweight Championship has been Mark Henry, and now he's injured. So yeah, so it has lost prestige, isn't it?
I really think it's sad because we mentioned great champions there who actually made the belt mean something. Then since Edge lost it, I think, and then Mark Henry lost it, it just not felt the same.
Indeed. So give us your thoughts on the questions you've answered down in the comment section below. Still can't believe Terminator Nj has Twitter. That's ridiculous, man. That's just
It's something you should, follow because he's going to keep us up to date with what's going on outside of the British Fist.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, that might be what he does. I don't really know. But anyway, so like I said, keep giving us your questions via the YouTube inbox, commenting down below on our facebook.com/British Fist or even our Twitter as well, #BritishFistQA. And that's been another Q&A. And you can also send any questions for Terminator Nj, of all people. Yeah, that's what we're stooping to, guys. Asking a robot cyborg assassin questions. Nj, do you want to provide a little outro for us?
Yeah, I do. People, please make sure you keep sending some questions in the comment section below. And from Mr. Parkin and me, NJ, and Terminator somewhere over there. Till next time, YouTubers, thank you very much and goodbye.